That's a weird way to approach your customer service base. But like, what's the next thing, right?
The next thing, that's a good question.
I think, I'll go back to the vertical content.
Yeah.
I think that's just I think right now you're still seeing horizontal outweigh vertical just when the deliverables are asked of you. But I think what we're going to see is that swap. I think that's going to be the next element in productions is more times than not we're going to film vertical compared to horizontal. I think that's what we're going to see in the next 5 years.
Do you think it's just because the clientele, the demographic is just aging out, and now they're focusing on the new consumer who holds their phone all day?
Everybody's on their phone. You got to appeal to the new consumer.
It went from film to tape to digital, so
natural progression. That makes sense.
It's just how things are right now looking and trending.
It could change.
We may shift back to horizontal. A lot of apps will maybe shift gears a little bit for XYZ reason. But as of today, I think in the next, I'd say in next 18 months, I think the deliverable ask when you're doing a production is going to be more vertical than horizontal.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think I mentioned this in a previous podcast not too long ago, but like we had Hefty in market shooting. It was a very big commercial. They had John Cena as the star in it, and I think it was over $1 million.
Sure.
Whole thing was shot vertical.
There you
Whole
go.
thing. That was the first time I saw $1 million vertically shot commercial. It's because they sliced it up 10 ways from Sunday, and they had 50 different platforms. Everyone was unique to the platform. It's like, it makes sense. They were shooting the same amount of content, but it was just vertical.
But
when you only need to cut it down to 15 seconds, now you can have 5 commercials from the same shoot that you might have got 130 or a couple 30s, right?
But it was eye-opening to me because I know people have been tacking it on and shooting vertical, but like the whole thing vertical, it was just kind of, we're there now.
Yeah, we have yet to get a solely vertical ask, but it's coming. It's coming. I expect it, in the near future, next 6 months. I do think we're gonna get our first vertical only ask,
probably,
which will be just crazy to think that 2 years ago it just wasn't gonna happen. You didn't think so.
I'm not saying anything revolutionary here, but we are in the media age to the point where there is not an industry, I think, on the planet that is not using social media, video production in some way, shape, or form to either explain what they do, connect with their internal crew, right, or to introduce what they do to new medias, right?
Absolutely.
So what are some of the big mistakes you see clients are making when they come to you and they're doing things just horribly wrong? And you look at it, it's like, oh, we could do that so much better. Like, what is that thing that jumps out immediately?
Fine line to walk, buddy.
Yeah, you don't have to call anyone out.
Oh, that's a good one though.
You want it or me?
Oof, I don't know.
I know you look at somebody's stuff and like, oh wow, that's not good.
Yeah.
For a variety of reasons. Maybe it's just they're not tagging it or whoever knows, But I was just curious what your opinions would be.
That's a good one. You can take this one.
All right.
You can take that one.
All right. I was wondering if you wanted it.
You can take it.
I think one of the things that I see on a lot of sets is allowing someone who's not on set to make a decision.
That's a good one.
It happens all too often. I was a freelancer on a project last week that on 2 different occasions, someone who was not even in the state of Florida was making a decision, but yet they were not there.
Yeah.
They weren't even in, like, it's bad enough if you're not even on set, but you're 20 minutes down the road because you had to dip out for something. It's like, even then I don't like that answer because I'm like, you're not here right now.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the situation that's unfolding.
But this person wasn't even in the state. And they had 2 opportunities to veto something that was going on. And it was just unfortunate to see the producer didn't feel empowered to make what they felt to be the right decision in those 2 moments.
Yeah.
One of them, I kind of sort of understood that the person calling in reason. I'll give them a little credit there. I was like, okay, I kind of can understand why you're telling us that they don't want that background for the interview is what it was. The other one, it made no sense to me. And ultimately what it was they didn't want slow motion to be used for 2 certain shots. That's the furthest I'll take that statement. And it didn't make sense. And even the producer and the DP were like, this is meant for this. And But those are two small examples.
Yeah.
But it happens too often that someone's on set. And go ahead.
You're not wrong, and I think that's sort of a casualty of COVID and everyone getting comfortable Zooming and Skyping. And now there's so many different ways to stream live, literally on set. You know, Dick can have a pop-up streaming.
But started to have to incorporate that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well,
and you're right.
producers are out of
Seattle
state
or New York, and they're sitting there.
They want to zoom in, and
I'll give them a little bit of credit because they at least are seeing what the camera's seeing.
They're listening, they're watching, they see
But
what we're looking at.
when someone's making a phone call or someone snaps a photo, the back of the frame of the monitor, they'll walk up to, client monitor, take a photo and send it to someone. And then that person will say like, no, don't do that. Or can we change the background? Or, in that case, oh no, that's not a slow motion shot. And it was just like, but yeah, it should 100% should have been. Even like I said, the producer and the DP both were like, no, but they didn't feel empowered to. They felt that they had to ask permission for something that, quite frankly, was an easy decision. If they're zooming in and they're actually able to see what's going on for longer than 90 seconds, fine, I'll give them a little credit there. That's who has that authority at that moment. No big deal. It just happens too often. Someone sends a text or a phone call, and it's just like, no, don't do that. It's like, you're not
it changes
here.
your whole day.
And
like, well, we just set up for an hour, so now we have to flip. Spend another hour setting up.
So, but it does come from that COVID world. It does come from that. It's just.
Well, I think, in addition to just the zooming and comfortability of that, I think it disempowered people to make decisions.
Sure.
And it's just sort of coalesced the power at the top where it used to be a little more filtered down. Okay, no, you're this person, you're that person. I trust you. That's why we hired you.
Yeah, we hired you as a producer for a reason, right?
They're hiring the creatives to be creative for their creative eye and their creative look. But then they take the creativity away.
Frustrating.
It is.
I can tell in your faces.
It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it hits you upside the head when it happens.
Let's switch to something positive now.